beautiful Paris, France. We have seen so many people get born again in the churches that we're ministering in with Hillsong, Hillsong Lyon, Hillsong Paris, and then we still have the southern part of France to go to have icing, the French Riviera. So thank you, partners, for bringing us here. You are making a difference in the nation of France. When you get to heaven, people are going to say, merci beaucoup. So thank you so much for bringing us here. Well, this month on the podcast, I'm talking about your routine, your habits. Are your habits taking you closer to success or further from them? In fact, I want to just address for a moment your morning rituals. What is your morning ritual? Is it just a last minute wake up, you snooze the button about 3 times, get up really quick, brush your teeth, get dressed and go to work? Or do you take time to prepare for the day? How do you start your days? That affects the rest of the day. In fact, I was reading something in Entrepreneur magazine that said 44% of the wealthiest people wake up 3 or more hours before they go to work. 44% of the wealthy, 3% of the poor. There's something to that, especially when you realize that successful people have successful habits. Well, I also read something that said the average person oversleeps 30 minutes every day. You're just sleeping in an extra 30 minutes. Do you know what would happen if you were to take those 30 minutes and do something to invest in yourself, invest in your growth, spend some time with the Lord those 30 minutes, pray about the day, visualize your future, pray over your dreams and goals, make some positive declarations over your future? I'm telling you, you would not be where you are today 6 months from now if you'll start taking advantage of your morning hours. One of the greatest things you can do is use your morning hours to get ahead. Years ago, when my dad promoted me as the CEO for Jerry Savelle Ministries, I didn't have a clue about leadership. My degree is in French. My minor is in communications. I had never studied leadership, and here I was, the CEO, overseeing 7 offices around the world. And I joke around about how the day my dad announced to the staff that Terry's the new CEO, best way to describe it was kind of like fear just went all over the building. And they just kind of looked at me like, you got to be kidding me. She's going to lead the ministry? And I understood why, because I'm not a natural leader. I'm not naturally proactive, and I've never studied leadership. And I'll never forget that first staff meeting with them. I told them, I said, I feel like Jehoshaphat in 2 Chronicles when the armies were coming against him and he just said, Lord, I don't know what to do. Even if I did, I don't have the strength to do it. He said, but my eyes are on you. So I told the staff that day, I said, I just want you to know that I make this promise to you. Number 1, I'm going to seek God. Number 2, I'm going to educate myself as a leader. Now, how did I educate myself as a leader? You know what I did? I took my morning hours to start reading a little bit at a time. I remember I would set the alarm on my phone for 20 minutes, get a leadership book, and I would start reading. When the alarm went off, I'd close the book and go on. Because back then, I didn't even have a desire to read. It wasn't even something I enjoyed doing. In fact, the only books I had ever read for pleasure was the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader book and a book about gymnastics. But when I started doing that, here's the thing. You may not enjoy reading, you may not enjoy educating yourself, but the only way you change your desires is by changing what you give attention to. Well, little by little, as I began to give more attention to that, I began to desire it. Why? Because I was growing, I was learning new things, I was starting to dream bigger. I was starting to wonder things like, I wonder if I'll ever go to the nation of France. Will I ever use this French degree? That was all a result of that simple habit of using my morning time. Now, the reason the morning is so important is because that's when you have the most control over your day. It's so hard to say, for me especially, it's hard to say, you know what, I'm going to read tonight. Well, in the evening, you never know if you have dinner planned with someone or you have to work late or something comes up. The morning is when you have the most control over your day. And if you'll just start backing up your wake-up time, just a little bit at a time, maybe start with 30 minutes early. Just get up 30 minutes earlier than you normally do. Go somewhere by yourself and say, I'm determined to do this for 21 days. If you can do it for 21 days, you can break an old habit and start a new one. And that's just it. I was just reading an article from a guy named Thomas Corley, And he was talking about how he began doing this. He said he started backing up his wake-up time getting up a little bit early and started growing himself and doing things that successful people do, like work out. And he said, some people call it the 5 a.m. club. He said, it only took me 3 weeks to develop this daily habit of getting up early, and he said it's changed my life. He said, I've actually written 5 books, I've become a best-selling author, and I increased my income by 75% since I adopted this get it done early principle. Well, you know, you may have heard this before. Margaret Thatcher would wake up at 5 a.m. Frank Lloyd Wright was known to start his day at 4 a.m. Roger Iger, the CEO of Disney, wakes up at 4:30 in the morning every day. Why? Because that's when you have the most advantage over the day, the most control of your day. Now, I want to challenge you to get on a growth plan. Do something. This month I've been challenging you to start listening to audios, reading books. Now I'm telling you, start getting up a little bit earlier. Start your day with God. Start your day just alone somewhere. Think about what you want to achieve for the day. You know, I can't help but think that simple habit that I started years ago, I had no idea. Here I am, not a natural leader, but I set a goal to read for 20 minutes in the morning every day. And do you know, yesterday, here I was in Paris, France, meeting with the Hillsong staff, their leadership, teaching them about leadership. Now, does God have a sense of humor or what? But do you know where it started? One day, setting the alarm a little bit early, go in that little room, open up a book, and read for 20 minutes. Successful people have successful habits. So, take advantage of your morning hours, do something to grow. And if you're enjoying these podcasts, please subscribe to this channel, tell your friends about it so y'all can start pursuing your dreams together. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook so I can keep you motivated to go after your dreams. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.